Namaste, brothers and sisters. Jai Shri Ram, Jai Shri Krishna, Bharat Mata Ki Jai. So, what am I going to talk about today? I want to talk about more what I hope to do for uplifting all the Dalits and Sudras. But recently in Bharat, something's been happening. The Taliban foreign minister, the Afghan foreign minister, sorry, because he's from the Taliban, but he's the Afghan foreign prime minister, right? Let us be accurate and respectful of the position. He's visiting India, and as a curiosity, I decided to look at what some Indian strategists were making of this, how they justify this, how they view this, how they portray this, right? And yeah, they really lack some insight into what's actually happening. And I don't think India is moving fast enough to exploit this opportunity to create a win-win situation. Okay, and you gotta make win-win a uniquely Indian approach, not the Chinese approach of win at all costs, subjugate through economic exploitation. Okay, that's what they do to Africa. It's what they do to what they did to Bangladesh, to Sri Lanka, to Pakistan as well. Okay, I mean, the Pakistanis will stab the Chinese in the back. Do not doubt that as well, right? And any Chinese government officials listening to me, if you doubt this, I can tell you how to set up my experiment to verify what I'm saying. I can tell you how to do that, right? Just reach out to me and I'll tell you exactly how to do that. It won't be even expensive. I'll tell you, it's very simple. I'll tell you how to do that. It's very easy to see how the Pakistanis can stab you in the back, right? And Pakistani general and politicians, they're stabbing Pakistan in the back because of the CPEC, right? That they're doing the CPEC just to line their pockets, right? So they're stabbing, Pakistanis are stabbing Pakistan in the back. So who the hell is anybody else? You gotta ask that question. If the Pakistanis can stab Pakistan in the back and the front as well, who the hell is anyone else, including the Chinese? But anyway, back to the Afghan foreign minister visiting Bharat, and these strategists trying to analyze the changes that's happening. Let me tell you guys exactly what's happening, okay? First of all, the reason why the Taliban is reaching out to India, the circumstances that allow for that to happen. Bin Laden is dead, Mullah Omar is dead, and Ayman Zawahiri, the successor to Al-Qaeda, he's dead, right? They're all dead, they're gone. This have cleared up the path for, this have removed obstacles for Taliban-Indian relation, okay? That is the most critical. That is the most critical reason, okay? If those guys were there, any of those guys were there, this would not be happening. The other one that's responsible for that is that the Afghan is under new leadership. And they realize that the Pakistanis will backstab them and have backstabbed them, okay? Because the Americans could not have gone into Afghanistan without the help of Pakistan. Because you got to go through either Iran, China, Pakistan, or Central Asia, okay? And even to get through to Central Asia, you need Russia's help. So they needed either Iran's or Pakistan help, okay? The Iranians were not going to help the Americans, and the Pakistanis did, okay? Because the Pakistanis saw an economic opportunity to line their pockets. When I say line the Pakistanis, I meant the Pakistani generals, really not the Pakistani politicians, right? Because they're just puppets, right? They're just puppets, and they puppets that also line their pockets, okay? So for a lot of military strategists and Indian strategists, missing this simple point out shows that you are not strategists of a caliber required of you to serve India or to be a source of information. This is why the Taliban's now reaching out to India, to Bharat, because they realize that the Pakistanis will backstab them and throw them under the bus at any opportunity, any and every opportunity that serves their pocket, okay? Not their interest, but their pocket. And their pocket is their interest, okay? Let us be clear. Okay? Remember, they have to keep, the Pakistani generals have to keep tensions alive with Bharat, with India, to justify their outsized role in Pakistan. No Hindu nationalists, none, wants to unite with Pakistan because it will dilute the Hindu population. And for them, the division of India is now a blessing. Any Hindu nationalists will view the division of Bharat, the division of India into the creation of East and West Pakistan, as a blessing. No Hindu nationalist wants, none wants Pakistan back. It is just, it's just too costly. It's too costly. And when I say costly, I'm not talking, costly financially, economically, but also costly ethnically. Okay, the makeup of the religious makeup of the nation is not going to be good. So that is not going to happen. Okay, under Hindu nationalists, it does not serve the Hindu nationalist agenda to bring Pakistan or Bangladesh back into the fold. It's just not going to serve them. And this is what analysts around the world is missing. No Hindu nationalist wants, and even Pakistanis, the Pakistani population is actually missing on this. So any Pakistani listening to this, know this. No Hindu nationalists, none, wants reunification with Bangladesh and Pakistan. None. But the Congress party would love this because it will mean they can now portray themselves as the saviors of the Pakistani Muslim or the new Indian Muslim. But the Congress party will be so selfish as to not see that bringing them in will actually create problem for Bharat. Okay. So again, I'm telling you, no Hindu nationalist wants unification with Bangladesh and Pakistan. It's just not serving the agenda or interests. Okay, just that you all get that. But back to the strategies about what's happening between Pakistan, Afghanistan, and India. Okay, so it is a very wise decision for the Taliban to reach out to Bharat, to reach out to India. Okay, but India is not exploiting this to create a win-win situation for the Afghans and India. And what I mean by that? Well, India and Afghanistan, the Taliban, need to agree on this. First of all, let's talk about the Wakhan corridor, okay? The Wakhan corridor is actually, that area is actually have more in common with Gilgit, Baltistan, and northern Kashmir and the Leh Ladakh region of Bharat than it does with Afghanistan, right? I'm bringing this up for a reason. India needs to make a deal with Afghanistan, okay? That they will help Bharat regain Pakistan-occupied Kashmir, hand over the Wakhan corridor to Bharat, which will be merged with Pakistan-occupied Kashmir, and in turn, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa should be liberated and reunited with Afghanistan. Okay? To correct the mistake or the craziness that the British did. Okay? So Bharat needs to exploit this. And in addition to that, free Balochistan. Okay? And in addition to that, help the Sindh province of Pakistan become liberated. Because the Sindh province of Pakistan on its own will become actually maybe the wealthiest area or nation within South Asia, the Indian subcontinent, not South Asia, the Indian subcontinent. Okay? Because historically they are traders, they're merchants, they're businessmen. Okay? It's just no surprise that they're the economic heart of Pakistan or the economic heart of West Punjab. West Punjab is what is in Pakistan, right? You see, Pakistan is not a real country, but it is a mirage or a term that Pakistanis, Punjabi Pakistanis or West Punjabis use to blind and distract and create destruction from the rest of, the so-called nation of Pakistan, while they rob, pillage and plunder the rest of these places: Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, Pakistan occupied Kashmir, Balochistan and Sindh. Okay, so you have to free Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, Pakistan occupied Kashmir, Balochistan and Sindh from Punjabi domination, West Punjabi domination. There is no nation called Pakistan. That is a mirage. Okay? Yes, there is a civilization called India or Bharat. It has always been a civilization, even when it was hundreds of princely states. The people of that area, including the ancestors to the modern Bangladeshi and so-called Pakistanis and even the Afghans, saw themselves as part of that civilization, and they moved freely within that civilization. Okay? That is India, Bharat is a civilizational state. Okay? There's a huge difference. Okay? The being part of a princely state to a kingdom of empire did not stop them from moving within that geographical area. Okay? They were part of that area. So you guys need to remember that. Okay? So India needs to work with the Afghans to liberate Khyber Pakhtunkhwa and Balochistan at the very least, and transfer the Wakhan corridor back to Bharat. Okay? India needs to make a case for that. Okay? And I watched an article on the print, or not an article, but a video. The print, the print is a leftist organized media channel. And they were talking about Pakistan, the danger about riding the tiger is that you're the closest meal. Okay, here's my take on that. India needs to be the tiger, okay? And nobody's going to ride on India, but the other people will be the lambs walking beside the tiger. So India is not even exhausting energy in having them ride on it, but they are going to keep up with India, and they're going to walk beside India. So if the tiger gets hungry, the tiger does not need to expend much energy for a meal, okay? And the only time, and the term for when the tiger becomes hungry is that if any one of them becomes ungrateful, India will be ready to deal with them. Bharat will be ready to deal with them. Okay? And India needs to make this very clear, that there be no doubt on this, because you got to be pragmatic and a realist. Not like Prithviraj Chauhan. No. You got to be ready. You got to be ready for broken alliances, for people backstabbing you. Don't give them the opportunity. Be ready to strike if they decide to turn their weapons on you. Be ready for that. But you have to be a realist and a pragmatist. This is what Chanakya would do. Okay? And the reason why we need to bring Afghan and India to bother each other is to correct that aberration of civilization, of history. And the reason for the Wakhan corridor being returned to India is to create direct access to Central Asia and to make sure that India can enforce its claim, its sovereignty over those areas. Okay? This is an opportunity, a golden opportunity that Bharat is not exploiting fully. Okay? And Bharat needs to be very pragmatic. Okay? There is a conflict happening between Afghanistan and Pakistan right now. Bharat should be supplying a lot of weapons, not for free, as loan, a lend-lease towards Afghanistan. At about 5% above cost, which is a great deal. It's a great deal. So it can fund the military-industrial complex of Bharat. It can also help the Afghans fight the Pakistanis, and it can create room and show some goodwill towards Afghanistan and the Taliban. Allow them to actually work harder, and you know what? The Afghans historically, the creation of Pakistan has been a burden to Afghanistan more than it has been to Bharat. The reason Afghanistan ended up the way it is Pakistani meddling. It wasn't the Soviet Union. It was Pakistani interference into Afghanistan that led to the Soviet intervention. Okay? But the Pakistanis with the American backings intensified their interference into Afghanistan. Okay? But if you read about this, Afghanistan was always complaining about Pakistani interference into their internal affairs. Okay? Now, let us free Khyber Pakhtunkhwa from Punjabi domination. Let us do that. Bharat needs to do that. This is why I say I love Modi, but he's not aggressive, or he's too narrow focus. His focus is too narrow. He has to look wider. You know, I love Modi, I really do, but he's disappointing me. He's missing opportunities after opportunities after opportunities. Missing opportunities, man. Too much opportunities. This is a great opportunity. Send Jai Shankar there. Let's watch my video, build on it. You know, why not? Why not? You know, help Afghanistan utilize the Pathans within Pakistan to free the nation of, to free Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. You know, help the Afghans achieve this. You know, do not let this opportunity go to waste. And this is what Bharat is doing. This is what Modi is doing. They're allowing so much opportunities to go to waste. You know, bleed Pakistan from the West now. Liberate Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. Get control. You know, the British give up the Wakhan corridor. The British and the Soviet, Russian Empire at the time decided to give it to Afghanistan. You know, free Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, free Balochistan. Don't you know? If Sindh doesn't want to be free, that's fine. But Balochistan wants to be free. The Pathans will be better off in Afghanistan, and Bharat can get the Wakhan corridor again. You know, negotiate with the Taliban for that, and have them recognize India's sovereignty over Pakistan. The Afghans have the Afghans recognize Indian sovereignty over Pakistan, control Kashmir. In fact, all of Kashmir. Okay, and one of the things you want to do is encourage the Afghans to put Afghan as a central identity. Show them that Islam as a central identity does not work because of what happened with East and West Pakistan, and now what's happening within Pakistan itself. Tell them if you don't create a national identity based on Afghan nationalism, they will fail. And show them that. You know. And from that, actually, you can have the Taliban evolve eventually to become more and more in line with the global community while still maintaining Afghan nationalism and their Islamic identity. They can do all of that. But let Afghanistan, the idea of Afghanistan, be the base. This will work for Bharat, you know. And whether it works or not, as long as you get back Pakistan, control Kashmir, you liberate, free Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, and free Balochistan, Pakistan will become increasingly weak. And India can now have direct access to Afghanistan and work to develop Afghanistan, because economic development will address youth unemployment and will actually help the Taliban too. You point out to them, you know, we'll create jobs, we'll do this, we'll do that. We'll do it as a win-win for you and I. And let the Indian rupee be the de facto currency in the Afghanistan and in a free Balochistan. Let it be so. Start internationalizing the Indian rupee and then push for using the Indian rupee into Central Asia. Okay? Because one of the ways to rapidly grow the Indian economy in US dollar term is to ensure that the Indian rupee rises while inflation remains at basically near zero, and grow efficiency and effectiveness. Okay? Let the Indian rupee rise. And you can do that by, you know, you don't go to develop economies and to use your rupees. No, you create economies in Afghanistan, in Central Asia, in Balochistan. Make the rupee the currency of choice. To trust and to economic integration. You can achieve all of this. This is a great golden opportunity. Okay? And do not ride the tiger. Be the tiger with the lambs following you. Okay? Be the tiger with the lambs following you. Okay? And be very pragmatic and realistic. Be realize that, you know what? If they turn on you, you're ready to strike back. You have to be ready for this. You know? Cold-hearted diplomacy. Let us make Kautilya, Chanakya, let us make him proud of us. We are his descendants. Let us make him proud of us. Okay? We were thousands of years ahead of the rest of the world in strategic thinking. Why are we not more than 2,000 years ahead of the world? Why are we not exploiting this strategic thinking that's within our DNA? Why are we not? You know, such a beautiful golden opportunity that is awaiting us. It basically came into the New Delhi. That opportunity came March to New Delhi. It's dropped in India. You don't have to go. It came to India. A great opportunity came to India. Exploit it. Because the Afghans will never again trust the Pakistanis. And nobody should trust the Pakistanis. Not even a Pakistani should trust a Pakistani. Because like I said, the Pakistanis will backstab Pakistan, both in the back and front, to gain for themselves. They will backstab the Chinese if possible. Okay? They will backstab the Chinese. And I am willing to help the Chinese develop a very simple experiment to prove that can happen. To prove that can happen. Very simple. You know? It won't even take a lot to prove that for the Chinese. Okay? But you see, the Chinese don't need to prove that because they will toss Pakistan aside. You know? You think that Pakistan and China are iron brothers? No, they're not. The Pakistanis, they have no loyalty to anyone. None. So, I hope Bharat is able to use an opportunity that was given to them. Okay? In the long run, you will still have to be careful. But you can achieve long-term, medium, and immediate goals as well. Okay? The immediate goal is really several actually. Free Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, free Pakistan occupied Kashmir, free Balochistan. It sounds like three goals, but it's three parts to one big goal, which is to reduce Pakistan's ability. Right? And it's not really Pakistan's ability, but West Punjab's ability to threaten India. Make it landlocked. Because once those three go, the people of Sindh, if they will be economically bled by the West Punjabis. And their best bet will be to become free. And Bharat, India can help them with that. And again, push for the use of the Indian rupee over there. Okay? Because then their best interest, their best hope for economic revival and economic reawakening is to really be integrated with India. Okay? Because remember, historically, India controlled the world economy. And all of them working together can achieve that. If they put the economic interest first, they can achieve that. Okay? And the West Punjabis can be reintegrated. I'm not saying united with India. No. Reintegrated economically. Provided they give up terrorism, extremism, and nuclear weapons. No compromise. Okay? No compromise. I'm not talking about anybody becoming a part of Bharat. I'm not talking about that. I don't want that. Okay? I don't want that. That will create too many problems. It's way better that they remain independent. Okay? And become economically integrated, like the European Union. They're all independent but economically integrated. Okay, let there be free movement of goods and services. You will see how fast. If corruption addresses, you will see how fast it will actually all benefit. All of them will benefit. That's all that you have to do. You know, that's all that you have to do. But as long as the Punjabis, the West Punjabis dominate as long as they dominate the Sindhis, the Pathans in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, the Kashmirs in Pakistan occupied Kashmir, the Balochis, okay, they can basically economically bleed the others dry. And not all the, sadly, it's not all the West Punjabis. It's just the military generals and the political elites and some of these zamidars, So I hope that Modi and the military strategists and and all these economic strategists and all these other strategists is able to exploit this opportunity that basically came to New Delhi seeking them out. Okay? And one more thing, you see how when 9/11 happened and how India was so happy and eager to help right away. Next time, don't do that. Next time, you say, well, you know what? The Americans provide cover to and Canadians and Western world provide covers to Khalistani extremists. So we do not recognize that the terrorist activity happened. And based on the actions of you, we are following the same formula set by you, unless you put an end to Khalistani extremists, turn over these people that we need. Learn to play their game their way. And always call it out. Always bring back attention to it. Okay? And do that. Play the game their way. Okay? Play the game their way with rules crafted and drafted by India. Okay? That's all. Anyway, brothers and sisters, have a great day. Namaste, Jai Shri Ram, Jai Shri Krishna, Bharat Mata Ki Jai.